Welcome in. This is the CryptoBroz podcast, and I am the CryptoBullGod.
And I'm the CryptoBringer.
I wasn't expecting that. This is recorded on Wednesday, September 29th, 2021 podcast, being released on sometime within the next week. Second episode of the CryptoBroz podcast. Thank you for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter at CryptoBullGod. You can also find me on Instagram, TradingView, all at CryptoBullGod. And CryptoBringer, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CryptoBringer.
So we wanted to thank you for tuning in for the second episode. As a reminder, just to help out the algorithm so this reaches more audiences, please like the podcast. Please drop a comment. Subscribe to the channel. For now, these episodes will be dropped both on my channel on YouTube at CryptoBullGod. I should mention that I'm also on YouTube at CryptoBullGod. But that's a temporary thing. We will be releasing this episode as well at CryptoBroz on YouTube, Podbean, and then we're also by year end looking to release this on major podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple, and Google podcasting platforms. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into today's discussion. So before we jump into the podcast, I wanted to turn it over to CryptoBringer. I know last podcast we were talking a little bit about Mike Tagliere and some of the struggles that were going on with his health condition, and unfortunately things took a turn for the worst very recently here, and there is something that others can do to help out. And so this is where I wanted to bring it over to CryptoBringer so he can share more information on this. The floor is yours.
Unfortunately, Mike Tagliere from Fantasy Pros passed away. It is a very well publicized event. There is a GoFundMe page. I will keep it simple for everyone here. We will be providing a GoFundMe link. Please click on the link and take a look at it. If you are so open to donating to the family, please do so. They would absolutely welcome your donation. Mike was a blessing to everyone he worked with and spoke with in the fantasy football community. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And everybody, please just take a moment to review the page. I'm sure all of us are very familiar with GoFundMe. So please read the information on that site. And if you feel inclined, even just a few bucks can go a long way from a lot of people, right? So please check out the link that we'll include within the description. It's late for us, okay? It's for us, it's late. It is before 9 o'clock, but it's after 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is late for us on a Wednesday evening. Is that not true?
Yeah, I'm usually watching AEW or Big Bang Theory with the Crypto Babe and then coming up to bed. So yeah,
sounds exciting.
Well,
so speaking of excitement, why don't you share briefly something you did fun this past week, CryptoBringer?
Wow. Well, yeah, I have a lot of routines. So I'm just gonna.
I said something fun.
I'm gonna dip into
okay.
a quick story here. God, this man, old fashioned. I almost called it again. Again, folks. Last week. This week, I said folks, so obviously I'm 95. My gorgeous wife made me an old-fashioned during the last podcast, and that's all we drank in honor of our grandfather, and that's what she made me this week as well. However, I referred to it as a Manhattan every single freaking time. And what's terrible about it is the good old CBG knew exactly what I was drinking because we did some prep work before. Did he correct me? Hell no. But anyway, so
I didn't
today,
know what was going on, to be honest. I just let you run with it.
Whatever.
I didn't know.
That's a terrible idea. So today was my one of my
speaking of an old fashioned,
sure, just cut me right off. Whatever.
Coming my way right now.
It's cool. It's cool.
Cheers, CryptoBullGod.
Cheers. All right. Cheers. Whoa, I heard a female's voice in there. Is she safe?
Ooh, that's very tasty. Thank you. Very good. Very good.
I'll just keep talking.
Yes, the CryptoBullGod is visiting me here for a couple weeks, so it's been very, very nice. And she just made me an old-fashioned. So, by the way, CryptoBringer, cheers. Here, cheers.
Hope you hear this. Cheers. I don't know. I just hit my mic. Yeah, this is a
And you lost
show.
your microphone. So
And
why
I
don't you,
did.
Yeah, why don't we pick this up next week? You'll have to order yourself something from Amazon.
Well, I will. Come on, Amazon. All right. Anyway, today was a very close friend's birthday of mine. He turned 50. It's very, very nice time. Able to get out and see some friends. We normally don't get out during the week anymore because we suck. And just as a quick backdrop, I met him 21 years ago at work. And there was a rotating amount of basically consultants. We were a consulting group that were brought in by a varied amount of contracting agencies to work at a bank. And this one position kept rotating in and out, and this gentleman was brought in, and I just said to my one buddy on the team, you know what? I'm gonna mess with this guy when he comes in, this new guy. He was the third or fourth guy, and they had just been rotating in and out. He walked up to me, shook his head and said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so." I responded with, "Go to hell." That's all I said to him. As he shook my hand, looked me square in the eye, that was my professional greeting with him, "Go to hell."
Sounds about right for you.
And he paused, and he goes, "Well, all right." And then he just went to the next guy, who was almost in tears from laughing, and introduced himself, and they kept going. And then I apologized, and then somehow we became close friends, and now he watches our cat when the crypto babe and I go on vacation, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it was just a nice little sidebar to our Wednesday night. Happy 50th to the man who, on occasion, listens to CBG. I don't know if he's listened to CryptoBroz or not. He knew that's why we were leaving tonight early. It was to record this podcast. So, cheers to him. Happy 50th.
Yeah, cheers. Happy 50th. Yeah, and I actually had the opportunity to meet this gentleman, and I will say that
Hey, thank you for saying gentleman and not his name or my name. Good job. Continue.
But he's super nice guy, so happy birthday, anonymous individual who turned 50 today.
All right. So
Well-
tell us about something entertaining that happened to CBG this week. Non-sexual.
Oof, non-sexual. So I will say that one of the most important things that you can judge the healthiness of your relationship in is the ability to work out together. So exciting things that I have done this past week. I did a leg workout with the CryptoBullGod. It's the first time in my life I ever did a leg workout. That's exciting. With a significant other, and it went very, very well.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
It went very, very well. Yeah, we did.
You did not do a leg workout with anyone else in your past.
Nope. I told her. I told
I
her
am
that,
surprised.
I told her that this was a significant step in the right direction because I've never done that.
Wow.
Before, so,
The CryptoBringer is surprised. Like, were you also wearing a shirt?
I was.
Are you wearing a shirt now?
I am. Not too
Thank
much
God.
longer, but yes,
Oh, come
I am right now. But yeah, squats, calf raises, hack squats, leg extensions, single leg curls, and then we finished with some walking lunges, which were pretty brutal at the end because it wasn't just the weight I was using for dumbbells, it was also the grip strength to go across the entire track and back. So, a good workout. Other exciting things on a serious note, I'm trying to think what else we really did this weekend. Oh, we went to the beach. So was at the beach this weekend.
Oh,
so
we'll just toss that out there. Here.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to the beach. Piss off.
Yes, I live in South Florida for those who aren't aware. So
Yeah, I live in the shitty Northeast.
Such a potty mouth. Jeez.
Yeah, for once. For once, it's worse than you. We have flipped roles in 25 years.
Oh, yeah. I have some more exciting... Hold on, wait. So, the CryptoBullGod was kind enough to remind me that we also had exciting plans this week that consisted of going to the pool. Yes. Over. No, wait. Hold on. It gets better. Over our lunch break. Extended lunch break. Together. It was very nice.
Is this why we're not seeing charts on Twitter?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't been as active on Twitter this week, so I do apologize.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? CryptoBringer's not charting shit. Wait, what's a no-no? What the hell's going on?
No, we've had some nice time together this week. I'm being encouraged to tell another story that I'll keep to myself. But
I said non-sexual.
She can't hear you, so she doesn't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know she can't, but if she wants to be bored, she can listen to us later. So.
No, she listens. She listens. I appreciate. I don't know why, but I appreciate it. No, but that is one nice thing for anyone out there who can relate on a serious note. How nice is it to be able to work remotely? I know CryptoBringer does have some days where he's able to work remotely. So on those days when you're working remote, how nice is it when you have the flexibility to, if you don't work out in the morning, shame on you, but you can roll out of bed, start work right away. You can take a lunch break and go out to the pool. You can run an errand in the middle of the day in the afternoon. Not going to comment on today, what I did in the afternoon, but I sent you photos. Keep that to yourself. CryptoBringer.
I don't know what the hell it's called, but
all right. So we're moving on right now, and we're getting into this is getting a little too personal. All right, so we're gonna move into a quick
I can make it worse.
We're gonna move into a quick TA update on Bitcoin. So one of the things, we didn't do this in the last podcast, but one of the things that I wanted to provide to the audience here, and really it's a collaboration between CBG and CryptoBringer, because I want to provide some high level, in layman's terms, just kind of what I'm seeing from a technical analysis perspective, so the everyday person can kind of understand what's going on. And then where the CryptoBringer comes in is if he has a question and doesn't understand what it is that I'm communicating, because none of this has been rehearsed, right? And CryptoBringer doesn't know a ton about TA. He knows some things, but he doesn't know a lot, right? And I've been doing TA for years and years and years. So he's going to check me. He's going to keep me real and make sure, keep me honest and let me know if I'm making any sense. So the thing I wanted to communicate from a technical analysis perspective, unbiased, is right now there's so many different views on Bitcoin that you can look at. What we can do is we can pull up a chart, and we can pull up, if you've ever looked at a chart on a stock or a cryptocurrency, it's all the same thing. These candlesticks that you're looking at, each candlestick represents price action. And you can actually change the time frame such that each candlestick's price action could represent a day, it could represent 1 hour, 1 second, it could represent a month, a week. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a common chart that many technical analysts look at that tell them if things are bullish or bearish. It's unbiased. It doesn't matter what your macro perspective view is on the overall direction of cryptocurrency. Boom, I'm just going to tell you what I see in the charts here. So we're going to flip to the daily. I'm going to tell you what I see. Right now, Bitcoin, the thing that you want to keep an eye on, it's printing some bearish price action. It's creating lower highs and lower lows, meaning the price is going up to a certain level, it's coming down. Then once it goes back up, that high is lower than the prior high. Then it comes back down and it prints a low in price action that is lower than the prior low. So the first basic thing that we want to see out of price action on a daily is we want to print. It's one of the most fundamental things from a technical analyst perspective. We want to begin to recreate higher highs in price action and higher lows. We want to build stair steps up versus stair steps down. And the last thing I would comment on, and I'll see if this is making sense to CryptoBringer so that he can check me to make sure I'm making sense. We want to get price action above the 200 simple moving average. We very recently had a golden cross. The golden cross is when a 50 simple moving average crosses above a 200 simple moving average. And right now, both moving averages are curling slightly down. So what I want to see price action right now. Price is below both the 50 and 200 simple moving average. Let's get above that price action. Let's get above the 200 SMA at 45,000. Let's get above the 50 SMA at 46,500. All right, so let's start pushing up towards 50,000. That's what I want to see over the next week or two here. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what you should be looking for in the shorter term in price action. But I will say this, last comment, is I have no major concerns at the moment. Go ahead, CryptoBringer.
I feel like you touched on a couple topics there that we should really delve into. You talked about the simple moving average, and you mentioned the golden cross, and then you also have that good old wick off, whack off, jack off, whatever that.
The whack off pattern? You mean?
Oh my God!
You mean that whack off? You mean that whack off pattern?
Yeah, that is what I mean. I'm just so sick of hearing about all these things. And I almost feel like with everything going on this month, all the negativity, maybe we should put out a second podcast before 2 weeks occurs, and talk about the SMA, the Golden Cross, and what that really means and why folks should be aware of it, but maybe not necessarily be terrified of it, because there's also other things to take a look at as well as what you've made us aware of with the SMA and other things. I feel like we talk about the SMA, we talk about the Golden Cross, we talk about the wig off and all that stuff. Whack off, sorry.
Yep.
All of those things with all of the buzz that they've been receiving over the past several months.
Right.
I feel that involves a much more in-depth conversation for the layman than what we were planning on doing today. So that maybe that's something we can circle back to quite quickly, so it can help alleviate some folks' fears.
I think that's a very good idea. I really do. I think that's a very good idea, because I think there are two ends of the spectrum. There's overkill, where you can overanalyze everything, and then there's not analyzing enough data. And there's somewhere in the middle, which is where you want to be. You want to have multiple data points. I always stress that on my channel at CryptoBullGod, is you want to evaluate several data points in making a very well-informed decision. There's no one moving average. There's no one price indicator or price chart that's going to tell you with 100% certainty anything. It's about utilizing several different views and then formulating, based on those views, a well-educated and informed decision on the likelihood, not certainty, likelihood of price direction. So I think that would be
this is not investment advice for anyone. We're not providing investment advice.
It's not?
Any form of fat. No.
Oh, shit. All right.
We're not. However...
All right, I'm off.
However,
you're on your own. See ya. I thought this was investment advice.
No. But what this is,
it's not.
Is we're all trying to grow. We're all trying to share our knowledge, and we're all trying to share.
Yeah, and the one thing you have to keep in mind, based on what you're saying there, one thing I was thinking about is, and I try to allude to this on some of the material I put out there on Twitter or my YouTube channel, is, I'm constantly putting out there this, we touched on this on the last podcast, but this idea of a generational wealth transfer opportunity. The reason that most retail investors, if you want to call them investors, what's up? What's going on behind the scenes there, CryptoBringer? It sounds like you're creating a manifesto, some sort of superb drink over there. The amount of shaking and stirring going on with the metals.
Oh God, you can hear that?
Dear Lord.
I told.
Are you mixing up a magic potion to turn around this market, or what's going on?
I told the crypto goddess that. So look, this is my fault. So Crypto Goddess had surgery on her hand. She had what's that called?
Carpal tunnel?
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Thank you. So she had to have the surgery, and she had some health issues with her other arm. So she hasn't really been able to use both hands. So I've been doing a lot of things around the house, etc., until she can fully heal, and she's getting there, but she's not there yet. So she made me the Manhattan. I'm sorry. Oh God, I did it again. The old-fashioned.
And you know what? I'm not editing that either.
No, you're not, because you're a jerk. She made me the old-fashioned, and she did it exactly as I asked. And what this does is, as CBG talks, or as I talk, I have my glass mug, I have my metal straw, and I just stir it. And I'm crushing the oranges and the cherries that are inside the old-fashioned, and apparently CBG can hear that. So my apologies to the viewers, but the metal straw on the glass is now iconic, and I guarantee you it will occur for every podcast.
It is iconic, as well as the rocking in your chair. We can all hear that as well.
Now, fun fact behind the chair: this chair is due to be replaced.
No, you can't.
Thanks to it. It has to be. My rear is sitting on plastic at this point. And fun fact, broke this chair by moving my wife into this house. Not sure who broke it or when it broke, but it definitely broke. Can't raise it up and down. I look like a midget. Oh god, that's offensive. I'm sorry. CBG, what do I look like? I look like a person that's sitting on the ground.
Hi.
Say hi.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola, ¿qué tal? What is that?
Hola, ¿qué tal? It's like, hey, how are
Oh,
you?
for God's sake.
Yeah. It's just
I
a
tried.
way to say, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it's just a shorter way.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I have to
I'm
teach
really
you.
not that gifted. Yes, please teach him.
Yeah, she's really got to teach me. I'm not too bad, right? With Spanish? I'm not too
No, you just got problems with the R.
Please tell me you paused it.
No. I can't
You better
roll my
pause
R.
this shit.
I can't roll my R.
I can't roll it
R.
either.
Yeah, you sound like a white boy.
Gringo!
You can't hear him. He's saying gringo.
Yeah, he sounds like a gringo, yes.
Ah, the end.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
All right, I'll leave you alone. Bye.
The CryptoBullGod is making a guest appearance. I love it. So anyway, I don't know where we were at, but I was trying to talk about something related to generational wealth transfer opportunity. And what I was saying is you were actually raising a really good point, because what I wanted to touch on is the fact that while I'm very convicted, and you know this, I mean, CryptoBringer, you know this, I've told you this, and I've shared this with you, and I've shared this with our mom and dad. But here's the reality. The reality is most people, and I mean most, I mean the majority. That means the majority, it means most. Most people will not be successful investing in this market. So why is that? Well, the reason is because most people get emotionally attached to what they're investing.
I want to hit pause here for a second.
Yes.
I just received a live stream alert from my company, and I just sent it to my television. Crypto Babe's gonna be so pissed off because my phone says it's playing. She's not screaming at me right now because she knows we're podcasting. She's so pissed. I apologize. Continue.
Well, she'll come up at some point. So what I was going to say is, look, most people will not be successful in this market because they're either, one, emotionally tied to what they're invested in, two, they don't know what they're invested in, three, they think they're going to get rich quickly because they heard that cryptocurrency is this next big thing and people got rich off of Doge or whatever, and so they can just throw money in the market and make money. And then four, they haven't done their homework. They haven't educated themselves. Sometimes I tweet out this hashtag, which is education is power. So they haven't taken the time to learn enough about the market to feel convicted about what it is they're invested in. And this is honestly where I feel like it pays big time to understand both fundamentals and technicals. I would not consider myself an expert in either, because I don't know. I'm very self-critical of myself, and even though I've been in this market for a while and studied the market for too many hours to count, I wouldn't say subject matter expert. I would say that I'm extremely knowledgeable, though. I'm extremely knowledgeable on the fundamental and technical side, and it's why I've remained so convicted up to this point. CryptoBringer, you know this. Before we get off of this and move into the next subject we wanted to talk about, you know this. You know that our mother, was getting very emotional and reaching out and text messaging all sorts of things when Bitcoin dropped from 60,000 to 30,000. I was like, yo, chill out. Like, it's going to be okay. But what I have to take a step back and realize is that, my parents' level of education, they're both very smart people, but their level of education in the cryptocurrency market is very naive relative to naive. Is that N-A-I-V-E? I always mispronounce that, but it's very naive. Yeah. Relative to where I'm at, right? So I do the best I can to educate them, but they really shouldn't worry if they have a long-term investment horizon and they understand what it is they're invested in that I helped them to get invested in. But it's that sort of thing. It's that sort of emotional response that can trigger buying and selling activity that leads to major bad decisions. So again, right now, just focus on the things I said in the technical price chart within the daily. And I think CryptoBringer had a great idea that we could circle back with a follow-up on some of these things that we talked about to elaborate on specific things with patterns and indicators and some certain things in technicals to better understand and get a sense and handle it.
I think it would be beneficial for folks
Yeah.
like myself. And as a general update, my wife is pissed. I took over the television and told me to get off her TV, which is a bunch of BS because that 75-inch TV was all me. And she doesn't want me to upgrade to the 85-inch TV, which I desperately want to do, but she's blind as a bat and can't read it from the sofa. So I think an 85-inch TV would be amazing. Continue.
All right, so let's not derail too much off the agenda. Hey, by the way, I wanted to let everyone know. So the way CryptoBringer and I kind of structure these podcasts is, so once we're done recording them, I'll do the editing and I'll upload it and all of that. But CryptoBringer is the one that comes up with the sort of the outline of what we want to talk.
Yeah, it doesn't take me as long as it takes you, though.
Well,
You
no.
bust your
But
butt
what's
on
nice is he's so the CryptoBringer, as much as he wants to be self-critical of himself, he's very good at technical writing. He's a very technical person in many ways, and he has a very nice for these two podcasts. He's had a very nice outline. So I'll reply back. Maybe I'll have like an edit or two, but for the most part, it's all of his ideas, which is great. So that's kind of what we're using for the blueprint here. So one of the things that the CryptoBringer thought that would be a good idea to bring up in this week's episode, which I agreed with, would just be some discussion surrounding the altcoin market. So what's your first question for me? I know you kind of laid out a couple things here. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, so when you're talking about the altcoin market and for listening to the analysis that you do and others do, there is an agreement amongst everyone that Bitcoin is the one that sets the market. As Bitcoin goes, the altcoin market goes. When you're researching the ever-growing market, and again, not giving investment advice, I and others are looking for, suggested websites or tools, books, whatever. What do you use to research for the ever-growing market of altcoins?
So I was putting some thought in terms of what sort of website I'll go to or what sources I go to, and I was trying to think about how to structure my thoughts because there is no one go-to, I will say that.
Okay.
So what I tend to do is, one, I try to stay in tune, first off, with what some of the predominant narratives are within the cycle we're in. So, for example, decentralized finance is a big thing. NFTs are a big thing. So the first thing is I try to stay in tune with what a predominant narrative is within the space. The second thing is I will take a look at some projects that have historically been around for longer than other projects. So there is a difference between evaluating a project that has had a longer at least standing, like XRP or Ethereum or Litecoin or even Bitcoin Cash, versus something that is newer like Quant or Algorand or Solana. So there are differences between longer standing projects and newer projects, because some of the projects that have been here for a long time, if they've stood the test of time, there may be something there that should lend itself to a credible investment thesis. The other thing that I do, there's really multiple things here as you're listening to me. The other thing that I keep in mind is there's a strong difference between technicals and fundamentals. So sometimes I will invest some of my resources predominantly, okay, not a little bit, but predominantly based on the technicals, because the project that I'm invested in, not only, I'll tend to, especially if it's a larger holding, I'll have an understanding of the fundamentals, but predominantly I'm looking at the technical analysis and saying this thing has beautiful market structure. It's been here for a little while. This just seems like a good investment from a technical perspective. And I know those who aren't familiar with technicals can't appreciate that. But from a fundamental perspective, what I will do is I'll also remain engaged with my audience on Twitter to see what sort of chatter there is about projects. And when I see chatter about certain projects that seem like interesting projects to me, so let's take XRP, because I did a deep dive into XRP a couple years ago and really spent a lot of time studying Ripple and XRP. What I did is, I went to Ripple's website. I subscribed to different YouTube channels, researched all sorts of content on alternate news sources on YouTube, whether it's going directly to Ripple, whether it's going directly to Hedera Hashgraph, whether it's going directly to Decentraland's website for Mana and understanding what purposes that project plays, or Harmony. I'll go to the actual founding website to really understand the project, read the white paper, and understand what use cases exist, what utility exists. Because for me personally, and then also gravitating towards people on Twitter and what their people whose opinions I value, what their educated viewpoints are on a project, and I'll utilize sources they have. So it's like a spider web of resources. I'm going off in all sorts of different directions to do my own independent analysis. And then the last thing I'll say before, if you have any questions, CryptoBringer, is the way I allocate my portfolio is that the projects that I am more heavily invested in, that make up a much larger percentage of my portfolio, those are the ones that I have a very good fundamental understanding of, fundamental use case understanding of, and I really see a strong future there for them. And all of them also have a very strong technical view on the charts. But those are the ones that really lend themselves to a larger position, as I really believe.
So for someone like me,
Yep.
I know obviously Twitter's a huge thing, and you follow the folks that you do. What about websites?
Here's the thing, without dropping specific names,
Okay.
because I don't want to do that.
Okay.
There are probably more websites I can think of that I don't really place a lot of value in, to be honest with you.
Right. I don't want to trash people. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, like we talk about certain websites for fantasy football.
It's more like this. This is the way I just thought of this. It's more like this. There are channels I'm subscribed to. There are even Harmony One is a great example. There were people reaching out to me about One and saying, you need to look into this. My followers reached out to me. I didn't inform them. They informed me. I always use this example with One. They informed me about Harmony One, said, you need to check out this project. So I literally just went to Harmony's website and just started reading about what it was, and started reading about the traction they were gaining within the space, and developed through that a fundamental narrative that I felt very comfortable with. And it's like that with many other projects. There's YouTube channels that I watch. There's many YouTube channels that I watch that I place a lot of value in. And when they bring up a project that they feel is a good project to research or look into or invest, I don't agree 100% certainty with every single person, even the channels that I value. I don't with a 100% certainty always agree with what they're saying, but it at least turns me in a direction to start doing research, not to a specific website, but to the actual founders' homepage. I utilize many sources. There's really no one go-to, to be honest with you, CryptoBringer. Okay. There's no one go-to.
There shouldn't be, but there should be a uniform. But I get it, because this is a different type of thing.
On a quick tangent, but related, I feel like I know a lot. I feel like I know a lot fundamentally about XRP and what Ripple's looking to do, and I feel like that could be a whole podcast in itself. So from a fundamental
perspective, I have a lot of anger about that right now. So So you want to talk about XRP and all that BS
We
right
can
now?
we can do that in a separate podcast. But again, don't forget. I've brought this up many times, and I brought this up earlier. Technicals are different from fundamentals, right? So while technically XRP is lagging the market, look, XRP, in all fairness, XRP hasn't even broken its prior all-time high. It's lagging, it's weak relative to some of the other projects like Bitcoin and Ethereum that have broken its prior all-time high, right? It's a big laggard. It hasn't even broken its prior all-time high. But from a use case perspective, there's a huge use case there. There's monumental growth that's possible for XRP in the future here. But a discussion for another day. But again, I hope that was helpful. There's no central resource. I sort of do due diligence based on trying to gain a firm understanding of fundamentals, and going down different resources, including, the founder's homepage, reading white papers, and then branching off from there, getting other people's opinions, reading news articles about partnerships and things being built on the platforms, and it's just a whole branch of
So I think that's,
reading.
I think that's
that I do.
really good, and I think for someone like myself and folks like, let's break it down further, someone like my wife or mom and dad, right? They're going to have difficulty. Sometimes they might just read a quick news grab, a quick headline from someone and go, oh my God, this is the way the market's going. Or they see 3 different people and it's really hard to trust. So from a newer investor, because the market is so young, right? It's really hard to delineate or differentiate between what's good news sources and what's bad news sources. So
Yep.
it just takes a lot more research right now. And by the way, during that whole diatribe I just said, I heard the rocking of my chair. So, this thing's kind of iconic at this point. It's like the metal straw in the glass. I don't know what's going to happen. Mom, I don't even know if you're listening at this point. I have no idea if you even care. But there you go. So anyway, so CBG.
Speaking, you actually raised something really good transition there. You said sort of something that's unpredictable there. We don't know. Well, that kind of ties into volatility and what's going on with altcoins. Yeah. So one of the great questions that we should ask ourselves is, why are altcoins so much more volatile as compared to Bitcoin? Now, Bitcoin in general, so Bitcoin is very volatile in itself, right? It's not, it's not unlike Bitcoin, especially during peak periods of euphoria and despair, to see 20-30% bounces in a single day in Bitcoin, okay? So, you translate that to altcoins. Altcoins could have a 50% move depending upon what market cap ranking you're talking about. So the question is why? Why are altcoins in general more volatile than Bitcoin? Well, to answer that question, the first thing I would say is to zoom out and look at the entire cryptocurrency market. The entire cryptocurrency market, and CryptoBringer and I touched on this last week, it's in its, I can't think of the word, it's in its infancy stage right now. So there's so much disruptive technology present within the cryptocurrency market, but when you actually look at it from a market capitalization perspective, and you consider the pocket of wealth within cryptocurrencies as in relation relative to other sectors like real estate or the general stock market or precious metals, it's very small. Very, very, very small. It's just over $1 trillion right now. So keeping that in mind, okay, now let's look at Bitcoin relative to the altcoins. Well, Bitcoin right now, I don't have the number in front of me, but I'll quote a rough percentage. Bitcoin, I want you to think about this, really what this means. Bitcoin makes up roughly 40%, 45%, whatever it is, 40%. 40% of the entire money that's in the cryptocurrency market. That's another way of saying market capitalization. So all the money that's in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin's like 40% of it. The other 60% are driven by thousands, yes, thousands of altcoins. And if we even just look at the top 100 altcoin projects, again, altcoins are any coin that is other than Bitcoin. It's an alternative coin. It's an alternative crypto coin. They have market capitalization values, money that's in the project, making it up, that are so small relative to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, and I just said the entire cryptocurrency market is very small relative to other pockets of wealth. So when you consider the entire cryptocurrency market is very small, and then you consider all of these other projects relative to Bitcoin is very small, the fact that there isn't a lot of liquidity, there isn't a lot of money in these projects, a lot of market capitalization, it's very easy to move the price up and down. It doesn't take, one more way to state this, and let me know if this makes sense, CryptoBringer, is it doesn't take a lot of money to move the price of a lot of these projects because it's the market capitalization, the value of it is pretty low.
So with the market capitalization, ultimately what I want to bring it back to is for something such as Shiba Inu, or Shiba Inu, the Shib, we'll call it the Shib.
Jesus.
Moving on. This thing.
Moving on.
It just looks like an absolute disaster to me, but it looks like something if I were to gamble,
yep,
I'd want to throw a ton into it. But they have a ton of coins on the market, right?
Yep.
Have you looked at it, CBG?
No, because it's a meme coin. I don't do meme coins.
Exactly. I know you don't do meme coins, but to jerks
now, I will
like
say
myself,
this. I will say this. Now, I want to throw a caveat out there. Well, first thing I'd say is I don't gamble. So I don't throw something into it in all seriousness.
I would like to hit pause right here. He did gamble in the Eagles Super Bowl. And
the second thing, fuck you. The second thing I'd like to say,
I'm not
is
wrong.
that I do see the value, and I'm not stupid to throw some money and invest in Doge only because there's a narrative. See, this is where you have to understand there's multiple factors you have to consider when investing beyond fundamentals. There's also what the current narrative is, and the narrative surrounding Doge is that Elon Musk is backing it, okay? Am I personally invested in Doge at the moment? I don't mind sharing that. No, I'm not. Would I consider at some point investing in Doge? Yes, I would, because there's a narrative behind it. Okay, there's a narrative. There's a backing. There's a community. Yeah. So even if like the use case and whatever, but there's a community and there's a narrative behind it. So I think there's so many things you have to consider when investing in something within this space. It's very, very immature and very nascent in nature. So there's just many things you have to consider.
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally get that. So I think at this point that we should divulge in, or we should diverge into altcoin euphoria. Because a lot of folks...
This is good, yeah.
A lot of folks are... They're expecting to the market to just pop with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then we're going to just see this run. But what we're talking about, and you touched on it actually in several tweets, and I think you might have touched on it in Chartmania. Got to admit, CryptoBringer was watching Chartmania while he was playing World of Warcraft.
Hey, I'm just glad you tuned in. I'm just glad.
I did. I didn't do anything. I just watched it, but I was, everyone seemed to be enjoying it, and I was. And by the way, so was my World of Warcraft guild on Discord. They were listening to you. I didn't realize they could hear you because I thought I had you turned down low enough. Turns out they all were, and then at the end, after you closed out, they're like, "Why'd your brother stop talking?" I'm like, "What?" "Well, that was your brother, right?" I said, "Yeah." I have some questions about it. So, yeah, no, just as a sidebar. But anyway, so with altcoin euphoria, why do some coins historically lag in price growth versus other altcoins? And we're talking specifically, we don't have to talk specifically, but I am about XRP and XLM.
So I think this is a very good question, and I'd also be interested for any of our listeners. If you haven't, by the way, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. But specifically as it relates to this topic, if you disagree with anything that I'm about to say or you have additional insight, please drop a comment. I'm very humble and very open to the idea that someone out there could know a lot more about this than myself. But my basic understanding is, let's not overcomplicate this. There's a general flow of money that occurs within this space when things go euphoric. So money flows out of Bitcoin and then it starts going into bigger and smaller caps, market capitalization projects within altcoins that lead to those things increasing in value. And historically what has happened, again, let's not overcomplicate this. Historically what has happened is that some projects like Litecoin have similarly followed the movements of Bitcoin and peaked at a similar time. And some projects like XRP and XLM have peaked at a later time. It's just the general flow of money. I have no rhyme or reason behind it. I can't give you a definitive reason as to why that happens. But it is important that if you do, here's the thing. Here's what I would communicate to you. I think that it is a big mistake, big mistake, to think that you can outsmart the market and you can take money from a project that you think has peaked and then just dump it all into something that's a laggard, expecting it to go up a lot. I think something that's smart that you could do if you study the market enough, and something that I intend to capitalize on myself, is if you have done enough research into the space historically, what has happened with some of these projects, which are laggards, which stay relative pace with Bitcoin, you could take a small percentage of your portfolio and you could shift it from ones that have peaked into some laggards. But you never want to go all in or all out. So there's really, CryptoBringer, there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's just some tend to lag and, some tend to not lag. And it's important to have that perspective and backing if you do want to take a small amount of your profit from ones that have run with Bitcoin and put them in some laggards. No guarantee. Here's the thing, no guarantee. XRP and XLM don't need to continue lagging Bitcoin. This cycle, what if the trend changes and they don't lag Bitcoin? What if they run at the same time? So history says they lag, but there's no reason that has to continue. It's just from the prior cycle, the data says that's what's happened.
That makes sense. It's just, we struggle with, and when I say we, I'm referring to not just myself, but my wife and people outside of this. When we look at the altcoin market and we look at the market in general, it's hard for us to understand the differences. So I think to do our listeners justice, we can maybe delve into this in a more deeper discussion as well. I think this could be something that we can talk about in a further level moving forward. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
So this topic we're going on, we're recording right now, and we paused there for a little bit. But this next topic, we're transitioning off cryptocurrencies, and we're talking about fashion trends that are returning. And I was telling CryptoBringer, I have nothing of value to add, and I needed some input.
No, he has value to add. So let's talk about the fact that CBG...
Hey, let's be careful here. Let's think about what we're going to say.
Wait, this is what we signed up for. This is what we signed up for.
Let's be careful here.
We can be.
Well, so where CryptoBringer's going here is the CryptoBullGod and I today were going shopping in the middle of the day for some dresses for birthday attire, and so a couple trends.
Are you wearing the dress?
A couple fashion trends once in a while. A couple fashion trends
cool.
that were very noteworthy, that were very interesting, is the pants that at the very bottom open up very wide at the bottom. That's kind of like from a 70s look, which is really interesting. Wow,
so we're going to go to bell bottoms.
The other thing we saw that was very non-flattering that I couldn't get my head around, and nor could she, was she had on a romper. So a romper, it's like a shorter dress. And
No, we're not calling them rompers. We're not.
Well, that's what she called
them. No, we're not calling them rompers. My wife just walked away. We're going to call them for what... and I'm going to get vocal right now because I have a severe disdain about them. So she's yelling from me downstairs. They're fucking onesies.
They're onesies.
They're onesies.
I don't know what the difference between a onesie and a romper is.
Yeah, no one does, and that's because the fashion industry created a fucking onesie. That's what they
Well,
are.
they're a onesie, and the thing that we couldn't get past were the sleeves. They were these huge, baggy trash bag sleeves. I don't know what.
That was on Seinfeld from 1995.
That was the pirate shirt.
Yeah, that's what they are.
The puffy shirt.
Folks, you're wearing a shit show. That's what you're wearing right now. Why are you wearing a shit show?
But you know what's a shame? That one-piece romper, or whatever you want to call it, it looked really nice. It looked really nice, but it had these puffy sleeves on it. It just didn't... It didn't do the dress or one-piece... It did it a disservice. And we tried to tie up the sleeves and make it look nice and kind of put it half up the arm, and it was just no good.
Look. I am
and it was
not a
material,
fashionista. Too. Yeah, I'm not a fashionista, but I can tell you right effing now.
Fashionista? Is that a word?
I think so. I just pulled it from common vernacular. I have no idea. I'm just telling you, fashionista's a thing. She's gone. I rely on her for that. I don't know. She watches shit on the Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, and apparently our television, which we pay a ridiculous amount for, but that's another story. Anyway, I will tell you that all of those fashion statements that you just mentioned are ridiculous. That is my old man get off my lawn statement right now. Defend your statement. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's happening. It's literally happening. And for me personally, it happened actually when I moved down to Florida. When I was in my 20s, I used to be a lot more into buying what was current within fashion, and I had a lot of different outfits to dress up and go out. And something also about moving down here, and I started working remote, and I just got a lot more chill.
Can we talk about your suit? Can we talk about your legendary suit?
Oh, the white suit?
Yeah. So we can talk about the white suit. So we are.
That's pretty epic.
So
I still have that suit jacket, by the way.
Yeah, your white suit is legendary amongst your group up here. So
I should pull that out tonight. He
should. CBG, and by the way, I feel it's safe to say at this point, when CBG comes up and visits the rest of the family.
Oh, I will be home for Christmas, by the way.
There will be a photo. And I fully expect on Christmas CBG to be in that suit with his ridiculous sunglasses as well. Because those sunglasses in that suit does not exist in the Northeast. It just doesn't.
I wear those sunglasses on a regular basis.
Yeah, and that's how that shit is out of touch in the Northeast. Because that's how you know if you fucking walk in Philadelphia with that fucking outfit, you will get the shit beat out of you.
It's very Miami Vice-ish. Very Miami
Vice. From 40 years ago. Wake up, dude.
I know. I'm out of touch with fashion. It's the reality. And the thing is, like, we make fun of our parents, and then at some point we get...
We're them,
and we don't want to admit it, and it happens. But neither you nor I have children of our own, and I can only imagine that it would be... a million times worse if that was the case, because they'd be pointing out every flaw within our ability to recognize what is current.
Even though I don't consider her my biological daughter, because no one would, thanks to biology, she and I will both agree, I'm a terrible expert on fashion. Yeah, no, I should not be talking on fashion at all whatsoever. But your suit is terrible, especially in the Northeast.
Hey, how about that sleeveless shiny vest I have? That black shiny vest. I still have that. The Michael Jackson one. Yeah, no, the Michael Jackson vest. You don't remember that? Oh, I'll have to get a picture on Twitter about that.
I feel like you wore that in a CryptoBullGod adventure that I'm not aware of.
No, I wore that, the last time you might have seen a photo of that was probably about 13 years ago.
Wow, really?
12, 13 years ago.
I barely remember if I wiped my ass this morning. You want to ask me about 13 years ago? Holy shit! Wow, I'm just gonna counter. I'm gonna go 25 years ago and counter you on Kersey right now, and just say, wow. You want me
back in the day, I mean, I still get clothing from Men's Express, but there were a lot of outfits I was wearing.
Men's Express, does that exist?
Men's
I
Express
feel
still
that's
exists.
sexist.
Yeah,
I feel it's sexist.
there was a fashion trend there. It was like metrosexual, right? Metrosexual, depending on how you
thing?
dress.
Is that a thing?
I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but I think I was sort of classified in that genre at one point. I think I was a little metrosexual, I think. I don't really even know what that means. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That does it for another episode of the CryptoBroz podcast. We're here to educate you, to help keep things light, keep you informed, to help motivate you so that you can capture this generational wealth transfer opportunity in this naive cryptocurrency market space to capture those gains. So until next time, I am the CryptoBullGod.
And I am the CryptoBringer.
And we're going to close this thing out in epic style. Ooh, yeah!